thing back, okay? This topic has come up a lot recently, and it's a very prevalent topic because credit card debt is at an all-time high. Credit card defaults are at an all-time high. Foreclosures, even though they're not telling us this, but foreclosures are at an all-time high. Bankruptcy allows people to keep their homes potentially. It allows you to keep the property that you've worked hard for, but maybe you fell on hard times due to this recession that we're in. And over the past week, I've spoken to about 6 people who came to me and they're like, hey, I'm looking for credit repair. But then they say, hey, I think I'm going to go for bankruptcy. And they really didn't know which one was which, or when to use bankruptcy, when to use credit repair. So to clear the air, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So you know when to go for credit repair or when to go for bankruptcy. And the best way to do this, I think, is to start off with understanding what each one is for. If you're tapping in right now, share this with other people so that they can get this information in case they need it. You never know. Maybe if you don't need it personally, maybe a friend needs it, maybe a family member needs it, maybe a coworker needs it. So share this out. Let's understand the point of credit repair and the point of bankruptcy. Somehow along the way in the marketing for credit repair, I believe it started with confusion because people have confused credit repair with debt elimination, or it's been confused that, oh, if you do credit repair, it makes your debt go away. Credit repair does not make your debt go away. It was never designed for that. Just FYI. There are ways to get your debt discharged, but that's literally called discharging your debt. That is not credit repair. That's just discharging your debt. Totally different process. Bankruptcy is one of the ways and one of the most common processes of discharging debt. Okay. Now, let's start with credit repair because that's more common. Credit repair whole purpose is to remove untimely, inaccurate, incomplete, and unfair information from your credit report. Those are the 4 things that credit repair removes. It does not mean you no longer owe the debt. It simply means that debt is not on your credit report. For instance, a lot of people hit me up and they're like, hey, Jamal, can you remove these student loans off your credit report? I'm like, yeah, we can remove student loans off your credit report. 100%. Absolutely. They're like, cool, because, these student loans are unbearable and I can't afford them. I'm like, hold on. Removing a student loan from your credit report doesn't mean that loan is gone with the wind. It doesn't mean the debt is discharged. It just means that other companies can't see that you have student loans. For instance, if you're going for a house, you may want to, and I had a conversation like this, you may want to have student loans removed from your removed from your credit report. That way, it can lower your DTI, your debt to income ratio, and you can qualify for more house. You can qualify for a larger mortgage because the mortgage company won't be able to see that you have the student loans on your credit report. Caveat to that, there's always a caveat. Mortgage lenders have access to a totally separate system where they can still find your student loans. That's why I like to say removing something from your credit report does not mean you no longer owe the debt, because there are over 40 different databases, credit reporting agencies, where a lender, if they wanted to, they could look and find all of your other debts. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. Credit repair is to remove things off your credit report solely to make your credit report look better and to make you look more bankable and to make you look more lendable and to clear your name, because your credit report is your name. If there's something inaccurate on your credit report, of course it shouldn't be there. If there's something on your credit report that's untimely, of course it shouldn't be there. You may be wondering, what the hell does untimely mean? And definitely share this out if you find this information valuable, whether it's for you, your spouse, a friend, a cousin, because this is information people need to know. All right. Feel free to drop any comments or questions if you have them. Love to hear back from you. So, untimely means when something's on your credit report for too long. And here's a quick breakdown. Inquiries stay on your credit report for 2 years. If it's longer than 2 years, you can call and just have them removed. Negative items, that's collections, late payments, repos, foreclosures, anything negative is going to stay on your credit report for 7 years. That's if you never dispute it, if you never find the inaccuracies. If you do absolutely nothing, it's going to sit there for 7 years and then fall off. An easy way to get rid of any negative right now is to look to see how old it is. If it's been 7 years since the last time you even touched that account, it's time for it to go. So you can pick up the phone and dispute it over the phone and get that thing out of there. A Chapter 7 bankruptcy is an exception. Chapter 7 bankruptcies will stay on your credit report for a full 10 years. Assuming that is not inaccurate, assuming that is not incomplete. I've never seen, now personally speaking, I've never seen a bankruptcy that is 100% accurate. I've never seen a bankruptcy that is 100% complete. Just saying. So that's the story with credit repair. It's to remove information off your credit report, clean it up, and make sure you have the best face when you're going to present yourself to a lender. It doesn't do anything to get rid of your debt, your actual debt. Now, a bankruptcy, on the other hand, does get rid of your debt. It's going to destroy your credit, potentially, depending on when you do it. It will destroy your credit. It will make you ineligible for a lot of products. When you file a bankruptcy, you're now ineligible for a typical mortgage, a conventional mortgage or a FHA mortgage. You won't be able to get one of those for 2 to 3 years. Okay, you have to, well, I'm sorry, it varies by state. In Maryland, it's 3 years from the date that your bankruptcy is discharged that you can buy a house or go for a mortgage. Okay, you got to wait 2 to 3 years. As far as like an auto loan, auto lenders, they don't care. They're going to be happy to give you a loan. That's actually one of the first things that you'll start to receive right out of a bankruptcy, because sometimes during a bankruptcy, they may take your car. They're going to start sending you offers and all types of stuff for these auto loans so that they can finance you and smack you in the head with 20% interest or whatever outrageous interest rates they have, right? And then a lot of credit cards just ain't going to rock with you, especially out of bankruptcy. They just not even going to rock with you. You're going to have to wait for a little bit, maybe 6 months to a year. I know Capital One will rock with you like even as early as 6 months after your bankruptcy has been discharged, right? So that's how that works with getting back in the game. What's going on, Jose? How about a collection from 3 years? Well, what do you mean? All negatives stay on your credit report for 7 years unless you dispute it or do something to remove it. If you don't do anything to remove it, it's going to be on there for 7 years. All negatives. A collection is a negative. So all of them. 3 favorite cards. Matt, what are my 3 favorite cards? I like a lot of cards for different reasons. If we're talking about cash back, any card that's 2% cash back, I love a 2% cash back card. A Chase Ink cash card, and I like the American Express Gold. I don't like the new sticker price for it, but I do like that, and I like the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So going back to bankruptcies, with the bankruptcy does get rid of your debt. It's going to discharge your debt. That's actually what it's called. It's called discharging your debt. What that means is that your debt is wiped out. It's gone. No one can come after you for it. There are no more collection calls. It stops a foreclosure. It stops repossessions. It literally stops all collection activity. Then you go through the court process, and during the bankruptcy, you have two types. You have Chapter 7. Chapter 7 wipes out all of your debt completely in one fell swoop. A Chapter 13 puts you on a payment plan. So it's kind of like, to me, I consider Chapter 13 something similar to a very high level debt consolidation plan. Because during the bankruptcy, they're going to discharge some of your debt, then combine it all into one lump sum in one monthly payment. So if you have like, $200,000 worth of debt, you may only have to pay back $75,000 over the course of 3 to 5 years. They figure that out during the proceeding as far as if you have a 3 year or 5 year plan. Okay. The rest of that debt, the other 100, what did I say, 200? So the other 125,000 debt is gone. It's been discharged. Nobody can come after you for it. No one can sue you for it or anything like that. Okay. It's legal protection against your debt collectors. That is what a bankruptcy is for. And it allows you to have a clean slate. When should you do bankruptcy? You should basically do bankruptcy when you cannot afford to pay your bills. Like, let's say you have all of your monthly bills and your monthly expenses compared to your monthly income. If you're in the negative, okay? So let's say you have like $100,000 in credit card debt and you're only able to make those minimal payments. That's the absolute only thing you can make. But in order to do that, you have to start taking away from other things, maybe your car, your house, utilities or something else. That's when you want to start. That's a good indication that you should file for bankruptcy. A key note here is you want to file bankruptcy before you start missing payments. So if you're already keeping up with your budget, you're keeping up with your expenses, you kind of know when you're going to start missing payments. Like, you already are looking at your account, you're looking at the minimum payments, you're looking at your account, you're looking at the minimum payments. You're like, oh shit, I'm about to be short this month. That's a good time to look into filing bankruptcy. Do it early, don't do it late. The reason for that, this is real life example. One of my friends actually filed bankruptcy when they were at like a 735, but they could see that, oh shit, all these minimum payments over the course of the month are eating me alive. I'm not going to be able to keep this up for long. So they filed bankruptcy. They went from like a 725 to like a 680. Now, if you know anything about credit scores, 680 is actually a good score. That's actually still a good score. That's considered prime. They didn't take her house. They didn't take her car, any of her cars. And she had like two. Didn't take any of her property, right? And she was still in the high sixes. So that's why I say from that experience, I learned that it's best to file the bankruptcy before any negatives actually show up on your credit report. Okay, it's kind of like the more responsible thing to do. If you do it after you're already late, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? You got to do what you got to do, but it's going to drop your score even more. So if you missed a late payment, that's going to knock you down 90 points. Then when you file the bankruptcy, that can knock you down another 150 points. So file it early if possible. If you file it while your credit is still strong, you'll be good. Well, your credit score will be good. Your credit profile is still going to look crazy because you got a bankruptcy on there. That's how you know when to do bankruptcy. When literally, if let's say all the creditors knocked on your door today and they're like, hey, we need you to pay all of us right now. And you like, I ain't got it. None of it. I don't have any, like, if I sold all my stuff, I still wouldn't be able to pay y'all off. That's a good time to file bankruptcy. Now, credit repair. Credit repair is basically whenever you get negatives on your credit report or you see inaccurate information on your credit report. Credit repair, it could be as simple as cleaning up your personal information. If you have incorrect names, incorrect addresses, old employers, old phone numbers, you can clean all that off with a phone call. That's technically credit repair. If you're trying to choose between bankruptcy and credit repair, if you're in a position where you can't afford to live, you cannot afford your bills at all, you probably want to lean towards bankruptcy because credit repair in of itself has a cost. I mean, filing bankruptcy has a cost too, but if you already can't afford your monthly bills, it's probably going to be detrimental to you to try and pay for credit repair, which is another bill. Not going to be, going to keep it 100 with you because I have credit repair also help small business owners get funding for their businesses, right? If you need capital for your business, hit me up. Now, if you have to do this, right, if you're in a position of doing bankruptcy, let's think about what order, how would we strategize if you're trying to figure out which way to do it. If you're in a position to do bankruptcy, you would do the bankruptcy first, not credit repair. There's no point in doing credit repair if you're going to file bankruptcy. That's backwards. You do the bankruptcy first. You go through that process. It can take, if you're doing a Chapter 7, that may take 4 to 6 months, the entire process for Chapter 7. If you're doing a Chapter 13, that can take up to 5 years, 5.5 years, the entire from start to when you make your last payment. So now, boom, the bankruptcy's on there. You did the Chapter 7, and then your debts were discharged, or you did a Chapter 13, you went through your payment plan, 3 to 5 years, and then all the other debt was discharged. So you went through that process. Now what? When it comes to credit repair, you can start repairing your credit, aka attempting to dispute the bankruptcy, attempting to dispute the accounts, things of that nature, 6 full months after your debts have been discharged. Not before you do the bankruptcy, not while you're in the middle of the bankruptcy, not a month after filing the paperwork, not a month after discharge, 6 full months after the bankruptcy, okay? At that point, you want to start looking at credit repair as an option. A good credit repair specialist is going to ask you these type of questions, and they may even have some resources to help you rebuild your credit. I actually have a credit rebuilding game plan. I call it a cheat sheet. It has about 10 different accounts that you can use to rebuild your credit even after bankruptcy. If you want that, just drop a comment below. I can email it to you, or drop a comment below that you want that credit rebuilding cheat sheet, and I'll put the link to it. Okay, that way you can grab it. It's going to have a credit monitoring website for you, so you can start monitoring your credit with FICO scores, not just Vantage score, but FICO score. It's going to have about 10 different trade lines that you can add to your credit to start rebuilding it. This is whether or not you've gone through bankruptcy. But if you have gone through bankruptcy, you need to rebuild and you're looking for accounts that you can use. It'll have that on there. And I even threw in some business credit stuff. So a link to a business bank account you can use and a link to a business credit card that you can use, right? So I got you, D'Anthony. So I can shoot that over to you. And the reason I have 10 accounts is because when you're rebuilding your profile, you want 10 accounts is a strong profile. Anything less than that is not strong enough. Okay? 3 to 5 accounts is good. It will get you in the door. It will get you in the door. But if you're looking for higher credit limits, if you're looking to build a really solid foundation, you're going to want to have 10 accounts, and you're going to want to have those 10 accounts for at least 6 to 12 months because we're thinking long term. Building credit is always a long term game. And when it comes to having to file bankruptcy, it feels like it's the end of the world. It feels like maybe you failed. It feels like maybe like it's embarrassing that you even have to file bankruptcy. But I know a lot of people that filed bankruptcy years ago and they good now. I mean, one of my friends is a registered nurse. She filed bankruptcy some years ago. Now she has a Maserati and a Lexus truck. Another one of my friends filed bankruptcy some years ago. Now they own a car dealership. They own a car dealership and they buy and sell companies like H Corps. So don't think that a bankruptcy is the end all be all or the end of your financial life. It's a bump in the road. It can be a setback, but instead of just looking at it as a setback, look at it as a reset. The goal is to learn from your past, right? Take some time, look to see what you did or didn't do that got you into that situation, and just be like, you know what? This sucks. This super sucks. I hate this shit. I'm never going to put myself through this again. I need to make sure that the next time around, I build and I build correctly and I make the right moves. Especially if you're a business owner. It happens, right? I think like just about every multimillionaire has either gone bankrupt at one time or they've almost gone bankrupt. I think with Elon Musk, he was on the verge of bankruptcy just before Tesla kicked off, right? If Tesla didn't blow up the way that he needed it to, he would have filed for bankruptcy. I know a lot of people don't like Agent Orange, but that man filed bankruptcy like every other day. That is not even a thing for him. He like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to buy this building. Oh, look at that. My company's bankrupt. You can't take the building. I'm going to keep the building, go on to the next thing, right? What I'm learning is the rich use bankruptcy as a tool. They use bankruptcy strategically. They use bankruptcy almost as a scapegoat. They build up their wealth. Even if they make some bad decisions, they're like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to file for bankruptcy. It's going to wipe all this stuff out. I'm going to try again. Like for them, they just brush it off. It's like, oh, it's just part of the game. 50 Cent, some years ago, he filed bankruptcy. The man still had power on television when he filed bankruptcy. He still owns power. So what we want to do is get into the mindset of understanding how to use these tools and how we can recover from these tools. I mean, how we can recover from these setbacks quickly and continue to grow, continue to elevate from there. But it will, it's going to take some mindset changes. It's going to take some strategy so that you know what to do after filing this bankruptcy. And oftentimes, bankruptcy should be your last resort. Try and call your creditors and work out a deal with them every single creditor has some kind of financial relief program. All of them have it. Even the top tier ones, Chase, American Express, they all have some kind of financial relief for their customers, especially after like the 2008 housing crash when so many people were getting laid off. They rather work with you than you file bankruptcy. Why? Because if you file bankruptcy, they're not going to get paid at all. They ain't going to get nothing. Or they'll get pennies on a dollar. They might get 10% of whatever it is that you owe them. So they much rather you call, you ask for some financial assistance type of program, and work with you and make those monthly payments. Now, when you do that, they may put something on your credit. They may say, hey, this person is in a financial assistance program or something like that. You can, try and make them remove it. You can complain about that or something to that effect. But they may still put something on your credit about it, unfortunately. But it's better than being, having all these monthly payments that you can't actually keep up with, and you're sitting there stressed out trying to figure out how you're going to make these ends meet. So call your creditors, your credit card companies, your car company, your mortgage company, and let them know your situation and ask them about whatever financial program they have. Another thing about these financial programs is once you're in them, they may have extra protections and or they may have other stipulations. Okay. The better the company, the better the program, the better the protections. So hopefully this helped y'all. Those are the differences between credit repair and bankruptcy. If you're looking at bankruptcy and filing for bankruptcy, you don't need credit repair, because credit repair is not going to help you. You need relief from your bills. Credit repair does not give you relief from your bills. Credit repair makes your credit profile look good and disputes inaccurate, untimely, unjust information that's on your credit report in order to remove it. But if you're having issues paying your bills or managing your debt, specifically managing your debt, then that's when you want to do debt consolidation. You want to do debt counseling with a local nonprofit organization. There are a lot of nonprofit organizations that do some form of debt counseling. Or the other thing you want to do is call your creditors, and then as a last resort, file bankruptcy. So everyone that commented cheat sheet, I'm going to send you guys, I'm going to give you the link. I'm actually just going to respond to you or reply to you with the link to the cheat sheet. So you all can use that to start rebuilding your credit, whether or not you've been through bankruptcy. Even if you have less than 10 accounts, you can still use this cheat sheet to just build up and strengthen your credit profile. And don't be stingy with it. Share it with people. We all know somebody who credit is less than perfect. Don't be stingy with it. Share it as a blessing. Yo, we had this conversation, whoop the whoop. I came across this resource here, boom. Right? Other other communities are constantly sharing game. Constantly sharing game. We should get into the habit of sharing game with each other. We don't have to keep it all to ourselves. Like if I got good credit, I want all my people to have good credit. There's no point in me hanging out with other people that don't have good credit. What fun is that? You're the only person with good credit. That's like you're the only person in your crew making money. You want the whole family to eat. You feel me? So don't be like, oh, you trying to stunt on other people. Y'all need to stunt collectively. You know what I'm saying? Walk in the whole team lit. Ain't no point of just you being lit. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then that's because that also cuts down on the jealousy. That cuts down on the, oh, you changed and all that. And it's like, nah, bro, I didn't change. I literally gave you the information. Here it is. Like I gave you the sheet. Did you do the sheet? Did you add those accounts? Nah, bro, blah, 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 whoop, whoop. Okay, shut the hell up then. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your friend. So, you know how we talk to each other. I'm like, bro, shut the hell up. Like, what you talking about? I gave you the game. You didn't run the play. What we talking about right now? Like, I gave it to you. Check your emails right there. Run the play, my nigga. Run it. Let's go. Let's elevate. You know what I'm saying? That way, they can't be jealous. They can't be jealous of some shit you already gave them. And they just seeing you win and they just mad because they didn't execute. That's a personal problem. That's on them. That's not on you. You gave them the sauce. It's up to them to use it. You feel me? So I'm gonna send that out to everybody. In the meantime, in between time, y'all stay blessed. And if you need help restoring your credit, hit me up. I have a team that does it. Actually, you don't really have to hit me up. If you know you have some stuff on your credit, you know you need to fix it, just fix it. The link is in the description. No gatekeeping, no special sales. It's $150 a month. The team does everything for you. All you got to do is pay $150 and upload your personal information. They do everything else. We even include credit monitoring. So you don't even have to pay for a separate credit monitoring service. I know sometimes you got to pay the 100 or 150 or whatever it is for credit repair and pay for credit monitoring. You don't got to do none of that. It's all in one. It's all in one. We use Metro 2. We use consumer law. We use factual disputing. There's a whole portal that you can log into that shows you what we disputed, when we disputed it, and how we disputed it. You get an email every month with the updates. There's customer service line you can call. Like, it's all there. It's all there. It's $150 a month. That's it. Like, either you gonna do it or you're not. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to have a long conversation about $150 a month. Like, we really don't. Because once your credit is good, we can start having conversations about how we're going to get you $150,000. That's when we need to hop on a call. We don't need to hop on a call for $150 a month. We need to hop on this call so we can strategize how you get this bag, how we're going to get you the truck that you're looking for, right? How we're going to get you that dump truck, how we're going to help you open up that restaurant, how we're going to help you get that food truck, how we're going to help you get that event space. That's when we need to hop on a call. That's what we need to strategize about. But you know whether or not you can afford $150 a month. You know you can, but even with $150 a month, if like Instacart, just Instacart, you can make $150 in a day on Instacart. Boom. Take a Saturday, run it up on Instacart, do a couple of Ubers, do a couple of Lyfts, get the 150. Boom. Okay, this is an investment into your future self. That's it. Like, I'm not above hopping in my car, doing Instacart, doing Uber, doing Lyft. If I gotta pay for something that's gonna help me get to the next level. Like, if I already know I want to start a business, or I want to buy a house, or I want a new car, or I want to refinance my car, I'm not gonna let $150 a month stop me from getting the house that I want. A house right now, the average house is $400,000. You're gonna let $150 a month keep you from a $400,000 house? No, you're not. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. That don't even make sense. It don't make sense to do that. So that link is in there. If you're a DIY type of person and you don't want to pay $150 a month, I totally understand. I have videos on YouTube just like this. They're free. Feel free to watch them. I have a $17 ebook that tells you how to repair your credit for free. I'm sorry, repair your credit for $17. It's an ebook. Download it, check it out. Do your thing with it. You want to build your credit, you don't want to pay nobody to build it for you, because that costs $2,000-$3,000. If you want to pay somebody to build your credit, you don't want to pay nobody, I got an ebook. Description, $17. You want a funding sequence. Let's say you don't need credit repair or anything. Your credit is straight. You good. You good. You just out here trying to figure out what the play is, what the move is. I have a whole funding sequence ebook. It has over 30 cards. $17. I'll give you the complete blueprint on how to run your first $150,000 funding sequence. It's $17. No brainer. It's a no brainer. So hopefully this was helpful for everybody, man. Listen, y'all stay tapped in. Y'all stay great. Let's keep moving. Let's keep elevating. Share this out with whoever needs to hear it. If y'all had a conversation about getting to the next level, you had a conversation about credit, you had a conversation about bills is heavy on you right now, share this out to them. Let them know that there's some form of relief, so that they can start their research, they can start their journey to getting out of that debt, making and getting rid of that debt. Bankruptcy is not horrible, okay? It can be embarrassing. You're going to feel embarrassed. People may turn up their nose about it, but it is what it is. You got to do what's best for you and your family. I'm not a bankruptcy attorney. I'm not advocating for any particular bankruptcy attorney. I'm just letting y'all know that it exists. And 6 months after your bankruptcy is discharged, you can holler at me and the team. We can work on removing that bankruptcy off your credit. All right, y'all. Everyone that put cheat sheet, I'm going to put that link up for you. And yeah, use it, grow, and look forward to talking to y'all soon. All right, peace.